It was not alright, was it? G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and do you get sick of the old studio? I get sick of the old studio from time to time, so I like to branch out. So I've branched out to the living room. Yes, I know. And I'm filming this on the Z5, Nikon Z5, and using the audio that comes straight out of camera. But I hope it's going to be okay. In fact, we might just do a little bit of a test now just to make sure so I don't waste all my time. Well, audio was filthy, wasn't it? But this should be much clearer, crisper, and less echoey. Here we go. Today I'm talking to you about the ultra compact dual channel UHF wireless microphone system, which is called the Star500 from CaTeFo. Yes. I like the way they've spelt it. There's a capital C, a capital T, and a capital F. It's like boom, boom, boom. CaTeFo. Star500, and the idea with this, and the reason I said yes to talking to you guys about it, is because I think it'll be super helpful for those of you that do anything with interviewing or audio connected to your videos. So those of you that are also fellow YouTubers, this might be really helpful for you. And the idea is that you take one of these elements and you put it on your camera. It buckles in via a TRS cable to your output audio, and then the radio link via UHF to your other 2 points that you can record separate audio sources from at the same time. So you can use one if you like, or you can choose two. And this one, you can stick an SD card in the individual receiver and record straight to card what you're audioing. And one of my questions, which we'll answer by the end of this video, is, well, can you just use that as an audio recorder and you don't have to be connected to the old camera there? So let's get into it. First of all, get rid of the box. It was a bit violent, wasn't it? This is what comes straight out of the box. Oh, and I do like it. Smells like it smells like a DJI Ronin gimbal. I have excellent olfactory memory. Simply unscrew it, and in here is the instruction manual. It's cute, isn't it? I say that every video, and then I have to go back to the instruction manual to work out questions that I can't work out myself. So here it is. We have the receiver and the two transmitters, which we'll talk about in just a sec. And up here we have a bunch of goodies. We have two lav mics. We have two TRS cables. Now with the TRS cables, one is a TRRS to a TRS, and the other is a TRS to a TRS. And if you put the double RS into a plug that doesn't take double RS, you get mute volume, you get nothing, it's just silent. So make sure you pick up the right one. And they do this because you might have a camera or a phone that you can plug this straight into, and it's TRRS, and the TRS goes in to your unit. So these are TRS units for the TRS plug, but it gives you two options if you need them. It doesn't matter with TRS to TRS which way the plug goes in. They just have two options to make it easier for you on the back of your camera. So I'd suggest putting this end into your camera so that it doesn't take up the screen when you're looking at it, and making sure you're pretty. We have a USB-C charging port that has 3 prongs and one, so you can charge 3 devices at the same time as one. So that's how they've got around. A lot of these things come in chargeable cases. This isn't a chargeable case. However, you can take them all out and charge them all at the same time. So let's have a look at the mechanics of it. I'll pull out the receiver first. All right, on top we have the power button. We have the line out, which is what you plug your microphone into, and we have your headphone out so you can hear exactly what's happening as the audio comes in. On this side we have the set button. You long press that to make a selection on your LED, and then you short press it to lock in that selection. And on the other side we have an up and down selection key, which we'll explain in a minute, and your USB-C charging port. So here we have an indicator light which indicates whether you've connected to your transmitter or not, and next to it is the power to make sure it's powered on. So if we power this puppy on by pressing the top button, oh, it lights up and it looks pretty. So we have the channel 1 and channel 2. Below will be the amount of audio received, and I think if I press set, power key unlocked, and then I go down, output mode, mono, I can change output mode to stereo. You can choose mono or stereo. Mono means it mixes the two into one single recording when the two sound sources come in, and stereo means it holds them as separate, so you can edit them separately later on. So you choose what sort of level of complexity. You can also go into every other setting on this, so you can change the frequency that it picks up on, the frequency that the different ones work on. You can change the backlight and how bright that is. You can change the auto time that it comes on and goes off. If you do nothing for it for 15 seconds, it stands by and you have to press the power button to giddy up it again. So you have a lot of control, and you use that by the set button and the back and forth button just here. But there's some really handy instructions. I know I bagged the instructions before, but there's some good instructions that come with it that are thorough and that explain everything that you will need to know. You see the little link light is flashing. So if I turn it on the transmitter, which I do with the power button on the top, is that on? And the link light is solid, as is that link light. Hello, and if I turn this power off of the receiver, it still thinks it's connected. You're not connected. No. It also tells you what the volume is that this is recording at, which you can alter, as well as the channel that it's on, and whether the low cut is on or off. This is B and the other one is A, so it tells you all the information you need on this. And if you actually press the power button once, it mutes, and power button again and it unmutes. That's really handy. Really handy. Now, with the transmitter, there is a slot here for your micro SD card, and the micro SD card goes in there. You have a microphone on top, or you have the opportunity to plug in a lapel mic to here. The lapel mics come with the clips all ready to go. From that, you get some windsocks, I think, too. So you can add your windsock directly to the top here, and that gives you the ability to go out and wind and put this on your jacket, for example. You might want to have it on your jacket, or there might be somewhere else that you want to clip it to if you don't want to use a lav mic like I'm using at the moment. And that will enable, when the wind comes at you, it will filter the wind out and all that. But instead you just get clean, crisp, clear audio. Well done, CaTeFo. Oh, I'm sorry, CaTeFo. Star500. Well done. So what we really need to do now is test these out and see if they actually work, right? If we don't do that, then what's the point? So I'm going to take, that camera's not going to work for me. Hang on. Thanks for sticking around. So this is the Nikon Z5. I'm going to take the receiver and I'm going to plug it on here in the side. And it's hot to trot. Lav mics on, and here we are. Should be crystal clear. What do you reckon? How's the audio quality coming through? Are you happy with it? Is it great on you, or how does it compare to the audio that's been so far in this video? That might be a helpful exchange to make. Just thought I'd jump in here because there's a couple of things I forgot to mention in the video, and I'm in the middle of editing it. I need to put these in. Was a test with just the receiver sitting here. Obviously it doesn't work necessarily on a t-shirt, but it would on a jacket, and you'll get to hear the quality of that. The other thing is that you can use these directly connected to a lavalier microphone without connection to the camera. All you need to do is make sure that the SD card that's put in there is no bigger than a 32 gig, so 32 gig it needs to be, and formatted to a FAT32 system. And finally, the range. I did a number of range tests, and I spoke to CaTeFo, and I just it doesn't quite work. What do you think? Because it says 120 meters, but they actually said no, it's between 10 and 20 meters that it should work. So if you're thinking about this for long distance, don't. But if you want to use it within the vicinity of where you can basically reach out and touch, or you're kind of close to each other, 10 to 20 meters, might be the one for you. So these are really well made. They don't feel like they're going to fall apart, even though they are plastic, and plastic, but there is some weight to them, so they don't feel like all flimsy and like willy-wally. You get 8 hours of use from the receiver, and you get 9 hours of use from the transmitter, and then I imagine it takes 3 or 4 hours to charge them all up. I can't quite find that out yet, and I haven't worn them out to be able to test that. There's a fair chance I won't have the time to wear them all out to test that, because they came fully charged and they're still like maximum battery levels. You got the choice of 48 channels to use on this, which is outstanding. Here are the specs, because some of you are like, I need to the gigahertz or the wavelengths or all those things that don't mean a great deal to me. So I'm going to put them on the screen now for a couple of seconds, and you can screenshot and admire them and study them to your heart's content. So the finished build isn't incredible. It's plastic all round and the plastic clip, but the clip looks secure enough. You might be able to bust it off quite accidentally, but just be careful with that. I'd also like to see white writing or larger indents of what the instructions are around each of these buttons and plugs. Would just make it much easier, especially when you haven't used it for a while. You pull it out and you need to use it and you're like, what's this? I can't remember. Again, also it costs about around 150 US-ish. I'm not sure, so I'll see if I can find some links in the description below for you to go and have a look for yourself and see if it's for you. But you do get 2 lavalier mics with it, as well as the 2 transmitters and the 1 receiver, and that's a really good deal in my book, I reckon. And as you can tell, the quality's been great. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Any questions, put them down below. And 3 thongs. 3 thongs? Maybe I will go to the instructions. So here we have a link light. The power key is unlocked.